Hello, everybody. This is your teacher Nelida with another video about grammar. In this opportunity to start this video lesson, you are going to listen a song, a fragment from a song, and complete the lyrics. Please listen to the song and complete the lyrics.
Sitting here in the boring room, it's just another rainy Sunday afternoon. I'm wasting my time, I got nothing to do. I'm hanging around, I'm waiting for you, but nothing ever happens. And I wonder, I'm driving around in my car. I'm driving too fast, I'm driving too far. I'd like to change my point of view. I feel so lonely, I'm waiting for you, but nothing ever happens. And I wonder.
Great! If you need to listen one more time, just go back to the video, stop the video and go back one more time. Yes, most of the words that are missing in our song in the previous lyric are end in the ing form. ing form. You have listened to driving, for example, turning. Yes, these are called in English gerund. Gerund. Those are gerunds. Well, one more time. What is a gerund? A gerund is a verb form that ends in ing. ing. For example, we can write some examples here. Driving is gerund because here we have ing. Another gerund is turning. We have here ing. Turning is a gerund. Another example of gerund is walking. Walking. We have ing. This is a gerund. Let's go for more gerunds. Yes, we have more. For example, working. Working. ing. This is a gerund. Another applying. Applying is another gerund. ing. Gerund. And our last example is going to be training. Training. ing. All these words are gerunds. And all the verb forms that end in ing are gerunds. Well, now we know what is a gerund. It is clear. Now we are going to learn in this opportunity how to use gerunds in two ways. A gerund can be a subject or an object of a sentence. Sometimes the gerund is the subject of a sentence and sometimes it is an object of a sentence. So we can use the gerund in two ways. One, two. There is another ways more to use the gerunds, but today we are going to use gerunds as object of a sentence and as a subject of a sentence. Let's start with the first one. As a subject of a sentence. For example, here we have two sentences. Voting is an important responsibility. Voting is the subject of our sentence, subject. The verb is going to be, the verb to be is. An important responsibility is our component. Choosing is our subject. Choosing a candidate, in this case, all this is going to be our subject. Choosing a candidate. And then we have our verb that is takes. And our complement is going to be time. So in this case, you can see the gerund is working as a subject of a sentence. Voting is not the verb, voting is the subject. Choosing is not the verb, choosing is the subject. Something that I would like to clarify is that when we use the gerund as a subject of a sentence, we need to use the verb in third person. Look at this. The verb is in third person singular. The same here, choosing a candidate takes, as this is a sentence in simple present, we are going to use a third person singular. Okay, so this is important to know. Voting is an important responsibility. No voting are. No, we don't say are, we say is. Choosing a candidate takes time, not take time, takes time in third person. Well, now let's continue. Here we have more examples. Studying English is more fun. And reading a novel is my hobby. Watching a romantic movie is so touch. And cooking is her hobby. Of course, my sentences are in the simple present. You can use them as well in simple past, future, present perfect, on all tenses. But the place of the word, the gerund, is always going to be at the beginning of the sentence. Always at the beginning, as you can see here. Studied English, reading a novel, watching a romantic movie, cooking is her hobby, is more fun, is my hobby, etc. Always in the beginning of the sentence. Now let's continue. Please don't confuse gerunds with present progressive. Present progressive is a tense, and the gerund is another thing different. Now let's check this gerund as an object of a sentence. For example, in the summer, Jimmy prefers swimming. Let's first detect the object. For that, we have 3 steps. The step number 1 is detect the subject. Then we have to detect the verb, identify the verb, and finally ask to our verb what. How? Let's see. Which one is our subject? The doer. Jimmy. Jimmy is our subject. Number 2, the verb. What is the action? In this case, is prefer. This is our verb. Number 2. Now we are going to ask what. What does Jimmy prefer? And the answer is going to be the object. What does Jimmy prefer? Swimming. So this is my object. And I am using a gerund to express the object. Jimmy prefers no swim. Jimmy prefers swimming. This is the correct. If you say Jimmy prefers swim, it's incorrect. Jimmy prefers to swim could be acceptable, but we are going to see that in another lesson. Now let's go to another example. Sophia likes jumping on the trampoline. So let's analyze the same steps. Step number 1, we need to identify the subject. As step number 2, identify the verb. And finally, as step number 3, we're going to ask what to our verb. The subject, Sophia, she's the doer. This is the number 1 subject. Number 2, the verb. The verb is likes. So this is going to be our number 2, likes. Okay, so 1, 2. Yeah. And finally, we're going to ask to our verb, what does Sophia like? And this is our object. What does Sophia like? Jumping on the trampoline. So this is our number 3. This is our object. We express the object using gerund. We don't say Sophia likes jump on the trampoline. Jump, only jump, is incorrect. The correct way is to say jumping on the trampoline. So we are using the gerund. Now let's move on. Here we have some exercises. In these exercises, what you are going to do is first of all identify the gerund. You have some of them done, but anyway, do yourself. For example, this is the gerund. In the number 2, this is the gerund. And identify, are they subject or object? Dancing is great fun. So this is a gerund phrase as subject. Gerund phrase as subject. This is the correct way. And she hates going out at night. Okay, so this is a gerund phrase as object. Okay, so you complete the rest, please. And also you have more exercises using gerunds. Choose the sentence that is written correctly. Choose the sentence that is written correctly using all the knowledge you have seen in this video. If you have any question, any gaps, so tell me in our session tomorrow, please. Well, it was a pleasure to be here with you, and see you tomorrow in our class.